Windham Fabrics was happy to collaborate with the G-Spin Collective to create some quilt kits that came out about a year ago. It was our first collections, and we had a great success with it. So we are going into our second run of 4 new kits. So if you haven't bought them, please come down and see them at the booth. We have them there. And 624. Okay. Thank you. The original G-Spin quilts were created out of hardship and necessity for women that were in the South. And through that, they were able to make something that has risen at this point to an art form. So they have been shown, their quilts have been shown in museums around the United States as well as around the world. In fact, it was Houston, at the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, that was the first in 2002 that spearheaded the G-Spin collective quilt collections. And so thanks to their efforts, and I think it's been twice that they've been down at the museum showcasing these beautiful quilts. And it's just been so much fun for us at Windham to decide how to pick a quilt and put it into a kit. Try not to get it too challenging, but you know, the nice thing about these, as you're going to see our version and also one of the originals, that it's an interpretation. These women just sort of made it. They fudged it a little bit here and there, and if there was something that wasn't exactly right, it didn't really matter. If they're a little crooked and stuff, that was really what made them have character. And so we're also going to encourage anybody that gets the kit, and if it's not quite right or up to something, that you can kind of fudge it a little bit and make it your own, because that's you know, what is the important thing about this. But more than anything, I'm happy to have both Loretta Bennett and Louisiana Bindolph here, that are 2 of the creators of some of our kits, that are going to talk to you a little bit about their inspiration and how they did it, and then I'm going to show you some of the quilts at the end. Right? Thank you.
Good evening. Okay. It's been a while since I've been in front of a crowd, but anyway, our quilts come from, well, let me go back. You know, last night we was at dinner. A lot of you all was at dinner last night, right? And they was talking about cotton prices. And, you know, it took me back when I had to work in that field and pick cotton with my hands. And, you know, back then, it was all done by hand. And it should have been hot in, but it wasn't. But anyway, you know, I walked in the museum in Houston 2002, and I saw my great-grandmother quilt hanging on a museum wall. How great was that? And I walked in this building today, and I saw my great-grandmother quilt hanging on another wall in here. It's a 9-patch housetop. And, you know, our quilts are about our grandparents, about the hardship that they had, and about when we was coming up, and we had to, you know, pick that cotton that went on the inside of those quilts. And, you know, back then, people used what they had. It wasn't about making it pretty. It was just about being warm. And, you know, and people say now, how come you don't do straight line? But what's about life that's perfect? You know, my quilts to me are about me. It's about how life goes, you know, because you don't have a perfect day. There's nothing in life that's perfect. And I wanted to reflect me. I wanted to say, you know, I had a bad day. And then today I had a great day. And it's all that wrapped up into my quilts. And it's about looking back over my life and seeing where we, you know, come from. And it's about seeing my great-grandmother quilt and remembering sitting up on the quilt and watching her do this. And, you know, I know y'all say I talk a lot about my great-grandmother, but, you know, she had a stroke and she was in a wheelchair, and that's how I remember her. And she never really went anywhere. and now her quilt was being shown all over the world. And the other ladies in the community, because when the community that we grew up in, we didn't have one parent. We had all parent. All parent was our parent. If you did something wrong, believe me, your parents knew. And so, you know, to see their quilts hanging on the wall and now being displayed in so many different ways. And, you know, I'm glad that, you know, they're making it where people can afford to, you know, to have one and to be able to, because we're just simple people, and everything about our quilts are simple, but it's from the inside. It's about our lives. It's about, you know, taking something that's simple and turning it into something that sometimes turn out to be beautiful and people admire, you know, and you know, when you see a lot of people that want them and that, you know, stand there and they cry about them, it really touches us. And we hope that you all will have some questions at the end. Of course, we don't have a lot of information, but if you ask about the quilt, we can answer that. But anything else, you might have to ask somebody else. Annie E. Petway. E. Petway.
Well, I guess it's my time. But growing up in G's Bend, we kind of got started early, you know, making quilts, well, looking at parents make quilts. My mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, aunts, cousins, and all of those make quilts. So it was kind of like sewn, I guess, into our genes, I would have to say. It's in our DNA to make quilts. But it's sad to say that a lot of the young ones are not following, you know, into those footsteps that have been sewn for us. But hopefully, with our quilts being turned into kits, maybe they might do it, you know, pick it up again, hopefully. I have all boys, so I'm going to have to wait for a granddaughter, I hope. But boys are getting into it also. But I would have to say our inspiration, like she said, the ones that introduced us, that it was out of necessity at the beginning. And I kind of fall back onto that even now. It kind of seemed like a necessity for me to make quilts like my mother, grandmother, great-grandmother made. I tend to go back to denim. I tend to go to using old clothes and the stitches, as you see in one of the original ones from the kits. I like to use the stitches that they use because it kind of take me back to, you know, their beginning. And I don't want to forget, and I don't want my kids, my boys to forget. I don't want my nieces to forget. And I don't want the world to forget, because that is one way of taking people back and letting them know where they came from, and hopefully not forget, you know, where they came from. So hopefully our quilt kits will give you all an inspiration to maybe try your hands at it, you know, because we get inspiration from clothes, like I said, and from our lives, a good day or a bad day, like Lou say, you know. And, you know, life is not perfect. Our clothes are not perfect. If they come out all crooked, hey, life is kind of crooked too, you know. And yeah, don't always work the way you want it to work, so. But hopefully, you all come by the booth, we can talk some more, you can ask questions, and maybe we can shed a little bit more light on our lives, how we grew up in G's Bend and what we did and how we did it. So hopefully you all get a chance to do that, and we look forward to it. Thank you.
The original and the
So I hope someone will decide to hand quilt it like the original and not do the machine quilt and get the easy way out.
Yeah.
Give a lot more character, especially with the white painting and stuff. Like this is my first time seeing the original other than in a photograph. And it's very exciting. And I just want to. I also just wanted to mention that Loretta and Louisiana are going to be at our booth 624 tomorrow morning to be signing autographs and to meet and greet everybody. So if you want to come to the booth, bring your friends and bring some other stores with you, then please come. We'd love to have you. And you can see all 4 quilts are on our walls. I just have 2 of them here today, but well, it's tomorrow morning. So they're leaving in the afternoon, so, you know, come early. And that way you get a chance to get them and an autograph and speak to them a little bit. So I don't know if there's any other questions that you have for Loretta or Louisiana. Yes? Okay, maybe one of you can answer that. Okay, all right. How did the quilts get discovered in the first place? So here, I'll let one of the ladies answer.
Well, a man by the name of Bill Arnett and Matt Arnett came to G's Bend, and they searched for a quilt and they found it, and then Houston Museum kind of decided they needed to be shown, and so from then on they just.
I read that there was a crazy white man had quilts down there in G's Bend.
That's what they called them. That's what they called it.
Someone else have any questions?
No,
Louisiana.
we both picked cotton.
We both.
6.
About 6.
Yeah, I tell this story about, watching the bus go by, and I'm in Tottenfield, and we went to school, and well, see, I grew up, my great-grandparents and my mom, she never got married, so, you had to do what the great-grandparents said. So, because her mom died when she was 4 years old, so they raised her. And so when you live with them, mother didn't have a say-so, so we picked cotton, and so we went to school when it rained, and when the sun was shining, we worked. Yeah.
Has anybody here ever picked cotton before? I don't know if you know it. So it's not the most fun thing. You know that it's hard work and it's hurting on your hands, as well as that glue that comes out of the top of it. So it's something that for children of that age to have to go out to the fields to work, but that's what it was like in those days. Any other questions? Then I don't know if anybody had came in a little late. I'm sorry. We have a bag. If you have a business card, we're going to take draw a name for one of a free G's Bend kit. And unfortunately, we don't have the kits in yet that are complete. So we'll take your when we draw your name, then we'll make sure that we get it to you as soon as they come in. So please make sure you get your card in there.